So welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today I will be reviewing Curse of llorona. Now this is a very interesting Conjuring universe movie. But before I continue, make sure you smash the like button, play subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's go ahead and get into the Curse of llorona review. So Curse of llorona is basically telling the tale of the Weeping Woman. It's basically telling the tale of the Weeping Woman. If you know the real story, comment below. And if you don't know the real story, let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a video talking about the real story. But anyway, my thoughts on Curse of llorona. I've seen this movie before, but it's been a while, and I don't know if I have reviewed it on the channel or not. But yeah, let me start off with the positives. I do like the atmosphere. The atmosphere is alright. But the one negative, it's towards the end I've noticed, like, this movie tries too hard when it comes to, being in the 70s. And I really don't know what I mean by that, but it just, some scenes you can tell it's just CGI, like the overhead shots are just CGI, but other than that, I don't know. But the biggest negative out of all of them for me is the look of the look of llorona. Now, what's the problem? What's the problem with her look? Well, to me, it's just too much CGI on her. In some scenes, she looks good, but then in some scenes, she looks hideous to me. Like, she don't look good. Like that one daylight scene where the girl, like, loses the umbrella, right? And she, the girl is, like, by the pool, and she sees llorona, right? I was like, really? You could have made her look better than that. Like, come on. I kind of found it hilarious. Like, they had all the budget in the world to have someone thrown, just thrown against, the doorway. But when it comes down to the look of llorona, they didn't want to put too much money in that. I just find that ironic. Just okay. But that is some of the negatives that I feel like it tries too hard being in a decade, if that makes any sense at all. And I don't really like the look of llorona. They could have did better. Again, you putting all that money into people flying across the room. You could have you could have put more money towards the CGI. And what is wrong with practical effects? I feel like people are some studios and some directors are really against using practical effects. Again, I understand. I said this before, I'm fine with CGI as long as it's done well and it's high budget CGI. But if it's looking like, I don't even know, if it's just looking like it's off, then what is the point of you making something CGI if you don't even have the budget for it? That's just the way I feel, in my opinion. Another negative is towards the end of the movie, there are some pacing issues. One of the biggest ones is like when the whole family's like in a circle of candles and the man is like doing this rattle. I didn't like that because I liked the scene, but I didn't like the pacing of that scene because it just felt boring. And you watch the first Conjuring, second Conjuring, the two Annabelle movies. Don't ask me about the Nun because I never seen that ending. but on a real note, you watch the Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, and etc. They all have good final acts, right? They all have good final acts. This movie didn't have a good final act. It's just, them sitting in a circle and then that just being dragged on, and then another scene being dragged on top of that. So it was just it was like, to me, I didn't remember it being like that, but yeah. So I considered that a filler scene. I feel like this is a good movie. Like, don't get me, I really enjoy this one. It's, upon watching this one again, it's top 3 for me, for sure. It's top 3 for sure for me. Even though it's top 3, it has its problems, and like the biggest one is the pacing issues towards the end of the movie. That's just one of them, to me at least. And yeah, I don't think this one gets enough credit as it should, but I do see why people hate this movie and just bash it like they do. I do understand why people bash this movie and are not a fan of it, because again, there are some problems with this movie, and again, if you have a bad looking villain, a bad looking horror character, I can guarantee you people are going to hate on that movie. No matter how good it is, no matter how good the script is, people are going to hate on the movie, and that's just the truth of that. You know, I'm not saying the look of llorona was like trash, it was terrible. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying they could have did a better job if they had the budget for people being thrown across the room. I'm sure they had the budget somewhere they had the budget to, you know, have a better look for llorona. My favorite part out of this whole movie, and will always be one of my favorite parts, is them actually using this movie, as as a tie-in to the Annabelle franchise. And because you have the priest from the first Annabelle movie, which I thought was really cool, and I didn't remember that from the first watch. And yeah, you have the priest of the first Annabelle movie, which I thought was really cool. So that was a really cool tie. I feel like the only one that I know of. Again, I've never finished The Nun, so don't ask me anything about that movie, because I'm not even going to watch that movie never again. I don't want to talk about The Nun. It's one of the worst horror movies I've seen. Not close. I don't know. But anyways, the point is, I feel like the Curse of La Llorona does a good job of setting up a cinematic universe. Again, maybe this one should have, been the one after the first Annabelle, to kind of tie everything in. Because again, at the end of the day, this is a cinematic universe, and really the only one, this is really the only one that kind of ties everything together in a nice little neat little bow. Again, the Conjuring 2 had the nun painting, and then the nun had her own spin-off, but that's not like what Curse of La Llorona did. It had a character from one of the other films, which I thought was really cool. And not the other ones have not did that, so I think that was really cool. But yeah, Curse of La Llorona, how to give this movie a rating, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sit here and praise the thing. I'm going to speak my mind and say call it how I see it. It's an 8. It's a full-blown 8 out of 8. Because again, it has its flaws, but I love the atmosphere. I do enjoy, I do enjoy like the whole tying into the universe. Again, like I said, at the end of the day, it is a universe. It needs to be more tie-ins than just a nun that gets a spin-off movie and no one likes it. Cool, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, I enjoy the Curse of La Llorona. Could have been better, sure, like it could have. And the thing is, I didn't like the ending. Like, the ending was fine, but the problem with the ending was like, oh, the mother's looking at the puddle. She's gonna be the next La Llorona. I swear, if they make a sequel to this movie and she's the next La Llorona, yeah, I'm not gonna be too happy with that, because again, if you know the whole story behind the Conjuring universe, they're supposed to be based on true stories and just everything like that, which I'm gonna be making a video one very soon about why I think they don't focus too heavily on real stories, and why I don't feel like they focus too much on Etta Lorraine Warren's cases anymore, which I will make a video on later. But yeah, that is the review for Curse of La Llorona. Like I said, I have this movie a rating to 8 out of 8. I really enjoyed. I feel like it's way better than The Nun. Way better. Than Annabelle Comes Home or whatever that was called. But even though this movie has its flaws, it's really entertaining, really fun. It does have its problems. Could have been a better final act. Could have been a better ending. Because again, if this thing gets a sequel, what the sequel. Number one, you already know what the sequel is probably going to be. And second, that's just another made-up story. Like the second Annabelle, like the third Annabelle. Just my opinion. But yeah, If you enjoy the review of Curse of La Llorona, make sure you hit that like button, please subscribe, and hit that notification bell so we go live or even upload a brand new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.